We are going to talk today about testimonials. And if you can have your best testimonial or your best customer say something, what would it be? Listen, I want to talk about three things that if you could get your best customers to talk about you and your product, what would it be? And best thing, in other words, that's a testimonial. So very commonly, people think that you just call up somebody and say, hey, would you do a testimonial for my product or my service or my company or whatever you do? And I can tell you that is the first no you don't want to do. You don't want to do that, and it's really a deal breaker because they really don't know what to say. Before you can start asking people to just do a testimonial, what's going to happen is they're just going to ramble. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to frame it up. And then you may get a testimonial, whether it's audio or video, and if you just ask them to do it, you may just get a testimonial with just kind of random stuff that's hard to focus on what you want them to say. So in order to do that, you need to nip that in the bud. And what we always suggest and what we do with our testimonials and all of our shows and all of our clients that we work with is that you got to create a relationship ahead of time with people with a testimonial. Once you have a relationship with them, then you can start guiding them and figuring out what it is that you want them to say and how do you want them to respond. So don't just ask people to give a testimonial and hope for the best. You have to create a relationship with them, and you have to prioritize what you want them to say. I would like you to talk about this subject, then I'd like you to talk about this subject, and then I'd like you to talk about this subject. So you be very specific about the questions that you want answered that they can give testimonial to, instead of just having them randomly answer questions, all right? That's tip number one. Don't ask questions that just elicit a yes or no response. That doesn't really help you in a testimonial. If you're just asking people, hey, do you like my product or my service? Do you like our company? And they go, yeah, I like it. Or no, I don't like it. What good is that doing you? It's not really doing you anything. What you want to do is you want to have those people to prioritize what you want them to do. So you need to be specific. You want to have an open-ended question to get the answer that you're looking for. For example, instead of saying, do you like my product or my service? And they're going to say yes or no. What do you do with that? Ask them this way. Tell me what it is my product, my information, my company has done for you. Now, since that's open-ended, they have to answer that question. They have to answer it in detail because you didn't give them an out to say yes or no. You asked them to describe it, right? So ask open-ended questions, not yes or no questions. And the third thing is that that when you're asking an open-ended question, think about the objections that your customers that you're selling to are having. Think about the problem they're having. Think about the objections they're having. When you do that, that helps you prioritize the question you want to ask your testimonials. Because if they give you answers to specific things of pain points or problems that they had or whatever that they're going through, most likely the people, your customers or the people you're trying to reach are having those same kind of problems. So specifically ask what are their challenges, what are the problems they're having, what specifically did your product or service help them with? You know, sometimes we ask testimonials to film themselves or record themselves, and we say, would you please give me a testimonial and record it? Maybe have a cameraman do that for you in your local town, or even do it on your cell phone, or just do a recording in your cell phone that's just an audio recording. Again, that's another recipe for disaster because people will just, they tend to just ramble on, right? So you want to be very specific about the questions that you're asking them. So send them questions ahead of time, either in an email, a PDF, or a voicemail, and say, answer this question and give me a pause. What you don't want them to do is, again, just answer questions randomly, just keep going and going and going. Break them down question by question and ask them to stop in between. And ask them to keep it to a certain amount of time. If you don't give them the parameters, then they're doing the best they can to give you a testimonial, but they don't know when to stop. Okay, so for example, you might say, please answer this question for me first. What is it specifically that my product or service did for you? And please try to answer that in 30 seconds. Now they have context of what to do. You got to work with that a little bit, but put parameters on the questions that you ask, the time frame that you put them, that you want them to answer them in, and that'll help you so much to get some better content in your testimonials.